Gulliver was shocked to find ant-sized dwarves walking around on him. Gulliver accidentally fell on a tiny man. Not only was he tied up like a Christmas present, they even locked him up with 300-yard clown shoes. Gulliver let out a loud roar. The stake bounced and threw the dwarf several meters into the air. The confused hero thought he was trapped in a dream. But he was knocked down by a general on horseback. The general wielded a spear longer than a giraffe's neck. The general threw a dozen hooks and hooked Gulliver's hips. With a strong tug, Gulliver fell face down. He was unconscious. When he finally regained consciousness, he was dressed like a ham. In a moving vehicle, they passed through the city. Every gossip-hungry person mistook Gulliver for an alien invader. They placed him in the palace. Even the scholar princess had never seen such a huge creature. The previously huge Gulliver dragged a gorgeous carriage. He moved through the land of Lilliput like a crazy farmer. Suddenly, the tiny kingdom was ambushed. Like an alarm at a birthday party, the panicked general grabbed the steering wheel. Gulliver drove the turbo. The general pulled off a jaw-dropping backflip just as they reached their destination. He jumped off Gulliver's back and went on a mission to rescue the princess like a Prince Charming. But his clever crew knew all about his daring move. They hit a secret switch and freed Gulliver from his chains. At the critical moment, Gulliver arrived. With just 2 flicks of his fingers, he rescued the princess effortlessly. Just when the general thought he was the hero of the story, he hadn't had time to get the princess to the ground. The alarm went off again. The palace turned into a giant barbecue. The king was trapped inside like a baked potato. Desperate times call for desperate measures. A guy yelled at Gulliver that we need a lot of water. Gulliver shocked everyone with his incredible performance. Gulliver took off his shorts and sprayed a stream of golden water into the palace. The fragrance was overwhelming. But it saved the king's ass. That night, the king held a celebration for Gulliver. Gulliver grabbed a plate of dragon fruit and swallowed it in one gulp. And began bragging about his father. The crowd was stunned and their eyes were full of admiration. The next day, the king's admiration for Gulliver was beyond words. 10,000 workers were sent to build a luxurious villa for him. Even brewing a cup of soy milk requires a team of people. In a blink of an eye, Gulliver reached the pinnacle of life. The king appointed him as a general. Because the previous general, in revenge, destroyed all the defense switches in the palace. They didn't know that this scene attracted the attention of the enemy thousands of miles away. They quickly notified the king to prepare for battle in the sky filled with dozens of bombs fiercely bombing the palace. Facing hundreds of battleships, Gulliver took off his cheap red t-shirt, kicked off his giant canvas shoes, marched heroically towards the enemy step by step. A barrage of shells struck hard at Gulliver, leaving delicious marks on his bacon-like belly. Gulliver's skin was thicker than a rhino's. In the blink of an eye, he channeled his inner superhero, throwing the shells right back at the enemy. They dove into the river like synchronized swimmers to avoid the fireworks display. He grinned and grabbed the ropes of each ship. The ultimate game of tug-of-war begins. Those poor warships stand no chance. They retreat faster than a frightened cat on a slippery floor. This epic final battle catapults Gulliver to legendary status, turning the country into full-blown Gulliver mania. You'll see his face plastered everywhere you go, from towering billboards to custom Gulliver costumes. More popular than the stars, the square is in chaos. People scramble to escape like headless flies. Suddenly, a giant egg appears in front of Gulliver and challenges him to a duel, but he never expected. The former general, bent on revenge, would team up with the enemy to bring down our hero. Gulliver tries to stay calm, but his face changes rapidly and undergoes an incredible metamorphosis. He transforms into a giant Iron Man in a blink of an eye. Gulliver's confidence collapses faster than cookies in milk. He turns and tries to make a hasty retreat. But before he can escape, the general yanks on his pants, sending him into a hilarious pants-throwing frenzy. Gulliver's brave exterior disappears, replaced by desperate pleas and gestures of submission that would make a professional proud. The disappointed onlookers could hardly believe their eyes. Soon after, Bellevue finds himself tied to a bed and stranded on another island. The next moment, he is trapped in a hut. Upon waking up, he is dressed in a princess dress, only to find himself stranded on a huge island and shrunk to the size of a thumb. Before he has time to digest this ridiculous sight, a baby bottle flies towards him and blocks poor Gulliver's mouth. Just like that, our hero becomes a plaything. Just when Gulliver decides to start his thumb-sized adventure life, he receives a surprising message from a follower of the Lilliputian country, a woman who was washed up on the shore just like Philip. Controlled by the power of love, our hero regains his resolve. He bids farewell to the vast island in a makeshift parachute. He returns to battle, but this time with a goddess by his side. Gulliver charges into battle without hesitation against a group of mischievous robots. He emerges victorious. It is truly awe-inspiring. How love can transform the most fragile soul into a force to be reckoned with. Gulliver demonstrates the extraordinary power of love and its ability to ignite the courage of even the smallest of lives.